All of the branches are budding new leaves. My neighbor's grandchild is begging him, please come outside. Our garden's creatures have come to greet us. I hear a robin eagerly sing.
Good morning and welcome to a beautiful, cozy Sunday vlog. I woke up in a little bit of a funk this morning and I thought it was time to do a little bit of a reset. We're halfway through the month, but it is a fresh week tomorrow, and I just find every now and again I need to do these resets. I sort of want to get in the routine of doing them every Sunday, but I haven't done one for a while. So I thought today is definitely the perfect day. I am halfway through my period and I'm just feeling a little bit blah. So I thought this is perfect timing to get out of the house, even though it is raining and it is a very miserable day. Sometimes you just have to pull yourself out of that and just get things done. So that's what today is. I have spent the morning journaling. I've spent the morning writing down everything that I want to achieve within the week, within the month, within the next few months. And I just find that really helps me achieve things a little bit quicker than just having them in the back of your mind but never really making them tangible, or never really putting things down that will help you achieve them a little bit quicker. So today is also my everything day. Every Sunday I do my everything shower. So it's my hair washing, shaving, fake tanning, all the things, you know, all the things that girls do. That's my Sunday. So I already feel like I've reset. And then as I said, I went and I planned for my day, for my week. And I'm going to take you guys through how I do that and what I do a little bit later in this video. But now that I've done all that, I've gone online, I've made some purchases, which I'll also share with you. But I just felt like I needed to get out of the house and go and do some retail therapy and go and stock up on the things that I know we need for our house. So that's my plan, and I'm just feeling already better because I have a plan. And I am a bit of a type B personality, and I can tend to be a little bit go with the flow, a little bit airy-fairy, and that doesn't usually end very well when it comes to achieving tasks. So I have spent the time to plan, I've created lists, and as I said, I'm just feeling so much better mentally. And I know that it's more achievable now, and that just clears up so much room in your mind, especially when you're not feeling 100% already. Like, you girls know, when you're going through your period, your brain just doesn't function as clearly as it does when you're not going through your period. So I don't know if you guys can relate, but that's how I feel. And I just feel a bit foggy. So I know it's going to be good to get out of the house and just get my creative juices flowing, because when I'm out and about, we're going to go to like Spotlight, we're going to go to a Dares, Early Settler. Like, when I'm out, I find myself wanting to look and create, and I get inspired. So I also think that is part of a little Sunday reset. So yeah, as I said, I just want to take you guys through what I do, how I structure it, and share with you what I also purchase, because that's half the fun as well. So I'm just going to go into town, and yeah, let's see where the day takes us. Hopefully we get some good little purchases. I do have a list of things that I want to get. So I'm looking for bedding for the house. I want to get two sets, like two full sets of bedding that are identical, because also when I'm feeling like this, I really want my space to be clean and neat and cohesive. It just helps me feel better mentally. So I'm looking for just two full sets of bed linen. I know that's a really weird thing to be looking for. And then I'm just going to be looking for pieces to fit into our new home. And I'm also going to do a little bit of grocery shopping as well. So I'll be sharing that with you guys. I'm feeling better already, which is nice. So let's go. We've just pulled up at Early Settler and I'm gonna have a little look in there. I'm probably going to go to Adair's, which is next door. Spotlight is across the road, I've just spotted that, and Harris Scarf is here as well. I like to just look in all sorts of different stores to find curated pieces that aren't as mainstream as, say, somewhere like Kmart. As much as I love Kmart, I do like to find little unique pieces here and there. So let's go and see what we can find. Does this literally overwhelm anyone else? Like, too many options. I just want one option. You know? It's too much. Some good deals though, but I think I prefer organic. I am intending this to be a Sunday vlog, but I feel like this is going to go into 2 days because I have just been looking everywhere. And don't mind how swollen I am, sorry, my cheeks literally look so swollen. It's not Botox, it's just because of the steroids I get lots of swelling. I look like a chipmunk, it's actually hilarious. Anyway, so I've just been into Early Settler, I've been into Adair's, I've been into Spotlight, I've been into Harris Scarf. I did make a purchase. I have got some cushions for our new couch, only because the couch we're getting was actually in Early Settler and I saw some cushions on there that looked amazing. So they were actually, I think they're half price. So I got 3 cushions half price, which was amazing. And I'm just gonna go to Kmart, pop in, have a little look. But like the quality of the cushions at Early Settler and Adair's and places like that are just like tenfold compared to places like Kmart. It's just insane. So I am excited to get those on our couch when we finally get into our new home, because it just makes a big difference. Like when you're comfy and cozy, that's everything. So I'm looking forward to that, and yeah, I'm just gonna go to Kmart, have a little look, and then I'm gonna go home and I'll show you guys what I was planning for my little Sunday reset and just the lists and things that I've made, tasks that I've set myself out, and things that I just want to achieve and accomplish this week and the next coming weeks. So let's go to Kmart. Sorry I haven't had as much footage. It's really hard to film in places like Early Settler and Adair's because they're quite small and everyone's sort of looking at you and you can't really like talk and you can't really bring your camera out. So I don't get any footage really in there, but I'm not confident enough, let's just say that. But in places like Spotlight and Harris Scarf and Kmart, it's a little bit easier because there's so many people around. So hopefully I'll get some footage in Kmart and then we will make our way home, and I'm ready for some lunch. As always, it wouldn't be a vlog without me saying I need to have some lunch. I'm specifically looking for towels and bedding, so I'm gonna head over there. But I think I want to stock up on some towels as well before we move in, and I just can't justify the price in Adair's and places like that. It's just like a towel's $40. It's different quality, but it's $5.50 here. It's a towel, so these are the things I sacrifice on to allow myself to get the nicer things at those nicer stores. Picking up some of my favorite face towels. They always get used, so I'm gonna grab some of those. I'm just gonna have a look at the throws and the quilt covers and see if anything is here that I like. Going for like a modern neutral, just neutrals, that's my vibe. I want this from Kmart, but just in a plain linen colour. Not the brown. I wish they just did a plain linen. I'm sure they don't, but that would be nice. Is this cute? I think this is cute too, but I don't know. I actually low-key like that. Is it too frilly? I'm just making a stop at the spud shed. I've showed you this in a previous vlog. It's my favorite little organic place. I actually used to work here. So I'm gonna get some things for dinner, some salsa, some taco shells. Everything's organic, and yeah, then we'll go home and make some dinner. Okay, so this is the room that I have been putting off, and because it's on my tasks that I need to do, I definitely need to start because I want to get this done. This is my weekly goal and it's a big one, slightly embarrassing, but this is just what happens when you're packing and moving and getting ready. So we're going to tackle it today. I think I want to start here. These clothes I've tried to sell a couple of times now. I think they're just going to go on either Facebook Marketplace in a big bag or to the op shop. And I do have obviously some things here that have to stay. There's things I want to tidy up. As I said on my list, I've created little tiny things that I can tick off along the way and get done. So I'm going to declutter, get all the rubbish out, take everything I need to the op shop, and then I'll reassess, start organizing, and then we can slowly pack. So that's where I'm going to start today. Okay, I think I'm happy with my progress. Obviously there's still so much mess in here, but at least you can walk in now and all those clothes are gone. I just have to be patient with myself and know that this is obviously something I can tick away at over the week. But I am feeling mentally so much better, and now I can take all those clothes to the op shop and then I can make my way through the rest of the room. It is now Monday, and I do apologize because I did want this to be a little bit of a Sunday reset, but I also wanted to be quite thorough with my information, and doing it all yesterday was just too much. So yesterday I went home, I felt so much better. I felt so good that I'd gotten out of the house, I'd gotten a little bit creative, and I had just like freed my mind, and I had a plan now in place. So yesterday was good. Yesterday was just a little bit of a reset mentally, physically. I come home, I made some dinner, and then I just relaxed on the couch with my partner. So it was a nice cozy night. And today, as you would have seen, I just did a little bit of a declutter in one of my rooms. It's not done, it is nowhere near done, but it has definitely to do with what we're about to talk about. So I wanted to show you how I structure a bit of a reset for myself, what I write down and how I plan it, because I find that getting it out of my mind and getting it onto paper is so much more achievable that way. And I could be very type A about it and write up a big spreadsheet, but I'm not type A, I'm type B, and I don't do that. So writing down on paper is my way of getting my thoughts out. And there's just something about putting pen to paper that is a lot more therapeutic than putting it on a computer or a spreadsheet. So I definitely enjoy the process of writing down. It's sort of my time to journal, my time to get my thoughts out, and that is part of a reset, I guess. So I just want to take you through how I plan it, what I do, and how I get myself back on track and out of a funk, because that's exactly how I was feeling. I like to get a nice big A4 sized notepad that gives me plenty of room to write down everything that I need. And I just start with the first thing that's sort of on my mind. So I know that in the house right now, we needed to top up on things that were getting empty. And I like to have one of everything when we run out. So I like to have a replacement for it, in other words. And I didn't have that, and that was making me feel a little bit stressed. And I also knew that I wanted to create a list of things that we need to purchase for our next home. And that was also giving me a little bit of stress, because I knew in the back of my mind there was things we needed, but getting it down on paper was just a whole different story. So that is what I started with. So I wrote at the top of my page, myself and the house. And this is just what we need right now. So right now I know that I need to stock up on my shampoo, my conditioner, my toner. I need to get some towels. I need a new fake tan. I just needed a bit of an overhaul of all of my products. And I also knew that, like, I went around and I checked what the house needed. So I knew that we were needing body wash, and I like to buy things a little bit more in bulk. So I like to find websites that are doing a bit of a sale, and I'll stock up on my items there. So I like to use the Koala Eco range, and I knew that we needed to restock on quite a few of those refillables. So I wrote down body wash, toothpaste, mouthwash, like bulk detergent, dish gloves, bicarb soda, stain spray, things that were just running out and I knew that we needed. So I made a big list of those, and as I said, I put them in 2 different categories, because categorizing things for me is just a lot more achievable than having them just written in one big line. So I like to put them in categories. And then I also went and did a house list. So here I've put house shopping list. And this is just things that we need for our next house. So I've put it into categories also, and I've written bedroom, kitchen, lounge room. Then I've put larger items that we need, like coffee table, couch, kitchen, dining table. And then I've also put a little spot here to say that we've got some vouchers to use, because even though I've put them in my calendar on my phone, I still like to know in the back of my mind that we have got some vouchers there that need to be used by a certain date. So I've written those down as well, and under each category I've written what we need in each area. So that's made it a lot more visible to me what we need, and it's also made it a lot more achievable. So then once I've written all those down, I then know I need to do a grocery shop. So I did the same thing with our grocery shop. I think most people do this. I've just gone down and I've written all the items we need from the supermarket, from the stores around us. And I've also written a little bit of a to-do list. So I know that in this week, I need to do my nails, my tan, I need to prep my meals, my shopping, I want to visit some family, I want to go to Chemist Warehouse. I've just written down a few things so that, again, it's out of your mind and it's on paper and you can see it visually and you can sort of plan your day to each thing you want to tick off. I just find that so much more achievable. It's just so much better in a sense that you know that you need to do something. All right, let's dedicate this day. So yesterday was my everything shower day. So I shaved, I fake tanned, I tidied up my nails, I washed my hair. So that day was dedicated to that. Tomorrow I'm gonna go visit family and I know I need to go to Chemist Warehouse and they live in that area. So I'm gonna do those things at the same time. So I feel like it just makes things, one, more achievable, and two, it just gives you a little bit more clarity on how you're going to achieve those things, I guess. I hope that makes sense. Alright, so once I've done that, I've created some lists. So I know that these are the things I need to tick off. The next thing I really like to do is to go online from places, like sometimes I'll just type in a product and see if that place has a deal going at the moment. So yesterday I typed in my hair toner because that one's probably the hardest for me to get unless I go to the city. And I found that the Adore Beauty website was doing a sale. It was like 30% off store-wide. And they also, what I like to do is I go in and I see if they have anything else that I'm needing. I'm sure most people do this, but they also had my shampoo and conditioner, and they also had my fake tan, and they were all discounted. So I knew that I could go through, I'm gonna stock up on all the things I need. Even if I wasn't out of it then, I thought, why not just purchase another one because it's already discounted and you get free shipping if you spend over a certain amount. So the bigger the order, the better, and the more discount, I guess. So in the end, I went onto Adore Beauty's website. I got 4 products from them. And sometimes I even go to the extent of writing down what I've spent for the week, the cost, and how much I've saved. I just like a little bit of a visual and to know how much I'm spending. So I've written here that Adore Beauty cost me $140 and I saved $35 and I got free shipping. So it just saves you going to the supermarket or going to Priceline or Chemist Warehouse and picking up a random item when it's not discounted, or when you're out and about. You're just not like utilizing your time, to the money like you could save. And the fact that I could wait for these things and get the express free shipping and get the 30% off store-wide, I think was like one of the best things. So I then did the same thing with my cleaning products, because I could just go and buy them from the local store that I go and get them from, but they're probably not gonna have a discount. And I thought, let's type them in the Koala Eco range and see if any websites are having a discount. And lo and behold, Healthy Life was having a discount. And it wasn't just on that, it was on other products as well. They stock thousands of products, and they're all related to health. So I knew that there was gonna be something I was needing that I could get from that website that I could stock up on now that could potentially save me money in the long run. And it just means that I have another one of them there in the cupboard for when I do run out. I just feel like that's just such a peace of mind, like just knowing that that's there. It just takes that mental stress, like there's that cloud. I don't know if anyone else feels this, but when you're thinking about something and you know you've got to buy it, but you're just like putting it off, it just kind of sits here like a little cloud. Whereas like if you just take the time to do this, it just takes that away. I don't know, for me it does anyway. So that's how I like to do it. So I went onto Healthy Life's website. I got the Koala Eco products. They were, I think, again, 30% off or something. And I ended up getting 6 items on Healthy Life, spent $134, and I saved $37, and I got express free shipping with them as well. So it just goes to show again that like if you plan, sometimes one, financially, because who needs to spend extra money when you don't need to, and 2, it just takes that stress away from having things there and ready to go. That's if you can afford to do it this way, but for me, I just find it's the best way to, 1, save money, and 2, to be organized. So I then went through, did all of that. Now it doesn't take too long. This only took me like an hour to really sit down, write a list, and go on the website, order everything, plan everything. If you just take an hour a week or 2 hours a week to do this, it just saves you so much time and money in the long run. I think it's definitely worth it. So I did that, so I knew I had a bit of a plan. And then I also went through my list and I wrote down places that I needed to pick these things up from. So again, it's just being that little bit extra organized. So I knew that my face towels are from Kmart. I knew that I needed to get my dish gloves from the supermarket. So I can then go through this list and say to myself, okay, I've got to go to Kmart and pick up this, this, and this. And then I can write a separate list, and I know that I'm going to Kmart for those things. And again, with, say, the shopping, I'll look at where it's from, write a list separately. And I know it's a lot of lists and it's a lot of planning, but I feel like it's just such a good way to stay on top of things and again, to take that stress off yourself, which is the aim of the game at the end of the day. Like, we want as much time and as much money. They're the most valuable things to us. So why not make your life that little bit easier just by investing in doing something like this that takes very little effort at all? So that's what I do with that. And I did the similar thing with my house items, but they're things I kind of am waiting for sales to pop up, or like end of financial year to pop up so that there's good discounts. But what I like to do is I go on to like Pinterest, or I'm usually Pinterest or Instagram, and I find photos of things that I like, so I have an idea. Like, I know the pieces that I'm looking for, so then when I go out and look for them, even in Pinterest, I've got like bedding saved, and then it's just like a folder of bedding, and then I know when I go to a place and I want to pick up some bedding, I'll look at the inspo and be like, okay, cool, I can match that, that, and that. And it just, again, takes that mental clarity to another level. Like, it takes that fog away and it just becomes a lot clearer. And that's what stops me getting in a funk. It stops me getting in a rut, because when you have clarity, when you have a plan, things are just so much smoother. So that's how I kind of like to structure my shopping lists, and how I achieve things that little bit better and stay on track. And then once I had all that done, I wanted to have some weekly goals, some monthly goals, and some more long-term goals written down. And I knew that I want to tick off the basics every day. I'm pretty good at staying on top of my water, my food. Sleep is a little bit tricky at the moment because of chemotherapy. Sleep's neither here or there. But just staying on top of those daily things, I think we all know that. And unless it's an issue for you, I feel like that was not an issue for me. So that wasn't something I was focusing on, but definitely focus on it if you need to. If you don't drink enough water, give yourself a daily achievable amount, like 2 liters, and break it up throughout the day. Or if you don't eat well, start prepping, start putting things in little bags together in the fridge so that when you get home, it's ready to go. There's things you can do to achieve those daily habits, but I've been pretty good at that, and I also don't work, so that is a lot easier for me. That's just something that comes naturally. But my weekly goals, so what I do is I've written down goals and I've put them into categories, very basically weekly, monthly, and I've put in a 6-month, and then I've put in an exciting goal. So I want something that I'm really, really looking forward to, because that just gives you something to be excited about. So I've put practical goals, and I've also put one exciting goal. So my weekly goal is just to clean up that beauty room that I previously showed you in this vlog. I want to make that organized, clean, and it needs to be ready for me to pack, which is what brings me to my monthly goal, which we are moving in less than 2 months now, if you guys haven't seen my other videos, and I need to pack up this house. So my weekly goal is to tackle that room, get that organized, and then my monthly goal is to start packing and have things in boxes by the end of the month, if not next month, because we move in July. So I've got a little bit of time, but if I don't start now, I'm just gonna procrastinate and things aren't gonna get packed. So if I give myself a target at a month, then I know at least something is gonna get packed in that time, and then I'm not gonna be stressed at the end of it, realizing I need to pack in a week. So that's just why I wanted to have those as my goals. And my 6-month goal is to grow on YouTube, because I really enjoy this and I love filming, I love the creativity of it, and I'm home at the moment. So going through chemotherapy, I can't work. Well, I can, but I choose not to. I choose to focus on recovery. But I also need a creative outlet, and I need something to look forward to. So YouTube is very much that for me, and it's been really fun. So that is a 6-month goal, just to grow. I don't have a number in mind. I just want the channel to continue to grow, which is the biggest goal. So that is my weekly, monthly, and 6-monthly goal. Now my very exciting goal is I want to be cancer free. So that's my personal exciting goal, because if I'm not cancer free, then nothing else really matters, because I mean, at the end of the day, cancer doesn't really last in the body forever. So that is my biggest exciting goal. I'm doing all the things that I can to achieve that. Obviously, I can't cure it myself. Other things are needed for that, which we are doing. But I know that we are working towards that, and that just makes me really excited, and that gives me something to look forward to and something like an incentive to just stay happy and positive. So that is my big exciting goal. Obviously that'll be so different for everyone. And I just want to show you how I slightly break those down. So I just wrote down weekly, monthly, and the 6-monthly goal. And I've just written down a couple of things that are going to help me achieve those. So in my weekly goal of cleaning up that room, I know I need to get some boxes to start packing. I need to clear it out. I then need to organize it into categories, and then I need to pack it. So doing that is going to then help me achieve my monthly goal, which is packing. So the same thing, I'm going to have to get some boxes, I'm going to have to declutter, and I'm going to have to literally start packing. So I've just broken it down that little step further to help me achieve those goals. And then I know, like, each day I can say, okay, I'm going to spend an hour just dedicated to cleaning up that room, or just dedicated to packing. So it just makes it that little bit more achievable. And then my 6-month goal, I want to continue to post regular content. I want to do a little bit of research around like YouTube and what I'm interested in, and just continue to learn and grow and share. And I want to create a bit of a schedule, because being a Libra and being a type B person, I just post randomly whenever I feel like it. And I do love that. But I also feel like I need to create a little bit of a structure, just so 1, people know when I'm posting, and 2, I know when I'm posting. And it keeps me motivated to reach a date to post by, to then create the next video. So that just gives me a little bit of a breakdown as how to achieve my goals individually and cohesively. So after I've done that, if there's anything I'm feeling, I just like to get it on paper and journal it down, write down my thoughts. And sometimes this will send me into a bit of a creative spiral. So I know that I want to increase my content, then I will start journaling about that, or I'll have a video idea, and it just takes you out of your funk. It takes you out of your feeling not so good, and it puts you into a creative flow state, and it gives you inspiration. And when you feel inspired, you're more likely to do things. And it's something like even going for a 30-minute walk every day, or doing a form of exercise. I feel like even just that helps you get out of your mundane routine, especially if you're not feeling 100%. So I hope that helps. That kind of gives you, it's a lot, but it kind of gives you an understanding of how I plan and how I keep things organized in my home, in my mind, and in my life. And it keeps me working towards goals and being excited about life, and being excited to create and obviously heal from cancer. So that is what I do. As I said, I hope it was a little bit helpful. I can honestly say I feel so much better, and partly because I'm now coming out of my period, so my hormones are rising. 2, I'm coming out of being on the steroid cycle for chemotherapy. But 3, I just feel like I have some purpose again. I have some direction, I have some inspiration. And when I feel like that, I just feel so much better. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I am sorry if I waffled on a little bit, but I'm just I'm passionate about this, because I know what it feels like to not feel good and to be stuck in a rut. And I just hope that this was able to help you. So let me know down below what you guys like to do to get you out of a funk, and how you organize yourself. I'm really interested, because I'm always open to new suggestions. And if you got to this point in the video, I want to start something new. Drop a white love heart and just put a positive word. I think that would be so nice. Share the positivity, and that way I know you guys are watching the videos and that you're enjoying it. If you have any suggestions or anything you would like to see coming up, as I said, I do have a lot of content coming about moving, renovations will be coming, picking colors of paint, there'll be all sorts of things you guys can help me with and all sorts of things I want to share. So stay tuned for that. And I hope you're having an amazing day. You're amazing. Life is amazing. Just be so grateful for those little things. They are the most important. I hope to see you in my next one, and thank you so much.